Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Practice English with Paul. Now, I've done quite a few videos on some tenses already. Like I've done the present ones, I think I've done a couple on the future, but it's about time I actually did the present perfect. Now, most teachers hate teaching this. I actually quite like it, but a lot of people don't like teaching it because many languages don't have equivalents. German does, but they use it a bit differently to what we do, so it's easy to teach this in Germany. But in Russia, it's very difficult to get Russians to use this. The problem is we use the present perfect all the time. You can't learn English without it. So I'm going to do sort of several videos on the present perfect, not all at once, it's too much. So stage by stage, I'll explain everything. So now we'll start off with the basics, okay? And after these videos, you will master the present perfect perfectly. Okay, here we go. Now the present perfect, the first one and the most obvious one to start with, it's like unfinished time. Now, I'm going to sort of compare the present perfect and past simple to sort of show you the comparison so you understand, because to compare tenses makes it a bit easier. So what we have here, we have unfinished time using phrases, for example, so far, today, this year. Now, so far we can only really use with present perfect, but these ones today could be used with other tenses, so it depends what you want to say, that's the problem. But this year we use the present perfect. So let's have a look at the first example. The post hasn't arrived today. Now, because it's unfinished time, that means today is not finished. So maybe we're in the office, we're at work, maybe it's 3 p.m, not 6 p.m, there's time before we leave, so maybe the post will still come. If you have a look at the past simple, now this is where it sort of changes a bit. I've got the past simple here, the post didn't arrive today, so because I'm using the past simple, so the time has finished, that means there is no chance that the post will come. So that gives the context that the day's finished. Okay, so just simple change of tense. The vocab's basically the same. The tense is a bit different. That means the day is not finished, today is finished. So it's very important to get it right. So that's the first thing that the present perfect does. Now I'll give you some other examples. I could say, I have sent many letters so far. Maybe I will send more. If you have a look at my little graph here, this is like my present perfect sexy graph on my chart. I've got the past, now, future. Here's the example, like the post hasn't arrived today, or I have written 5 emails already. And this is throughout the day up to now when I speak. But you'll see it keeps going. Because the time's not finished, it can keep going. So if, for example, I say, I have travelled to London, that can mean maybe here I travelled to London, maybe here I travelled to London, but maybe I will travel to London again in the future. It's not finished time. If I said, for example, I was in London, then I'm using the past simple. I'm being very specific about one time I was there, but I would need more information. I was in London last year, for example. We also have present perfect with repeated actions. And you'll often see what I've got here. I've got this word times. That's very important for the present perfect. So I can say, I've been to London 5 times. Now you can see here in my chart, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of repeated actions. It's also like unfinished time because I've been to London 5 times. Maybe I will go again in the future. I could say, for example, then is past simple. I was in London 5 times. Well then, if I'm using the past simple, I'm being specific about those particular 5 times. The best way for you guys to understand this, imagine I'm about to die. I'm lying on my deathbed and I've got 2 minutes before my sweet relatives turn the machine off because they're fed up with me. And I'm saying, oh, you know, I've been to London only 5 times. That wouldn't be correct, because if I know I've only got 2 minutes before I die, I can't really use the present perfect because there's no chance I can get to the airport and fly to London and come back within 2 minutes. It's impossible. So I would have to use the past simple then. So I would say, oh, you know, I've got 2 minutes before I die and I was only in London 5 times and I'm never going to go again because I'll die in 2 minutes. So when it comes to choosing the present perfect or the past simple, it all depends on how you see that time. If it's finished and there's no connection to now, it's always past simple. If you're going to have some connection to now, it's unfinished time, use present perfect. Now the Americans do use present perfect because many people say the Americans don't use it. They do. I've seen it very often. They probably use it a bit less than we do, as I'll explain in another video. But if you're going to do your Cambridge exams, you need to know this. Okay? So let's have a look. So we have also, when you ask a question, how many times, then basically you're going to use the present perfect. But I've actually written two interesting examples here to compare. So the first one again is present perfect. How many times have you been to London? Because I want to know from your past till now how many times you've been there, or how many times you have done something from the past till now. But notice here in this example, how many times a week do you play tennis? I've actually got a present simple question, but then there's no connection to the past. That's the thing. I'm using the present simple because I'm asking about a habit in the present, a fact in the present. It's got no connection to the past. But the problem is, you'll understand as you learn English, you can have a lot of these time words refer to other tenses. That's where students get a bit confused. But otherwise, this is actually very, very simple. Okay, so if you have any questions, please leave some comments below. Please subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to make the second video and the third video and the fourth video on present perfect.